We saw Avatar Fire and Ash yesterday, which is the latest installment of James Cameron's world-building sci-fi Avatar, and it was good. I enjoyed it a lot better than the second one. Full disclosure, I fell asleep halfway through the second one and never bothered to go back and rewatch it, frankly, because it was just so long, and I just didn't care, I guess, for no particular reason. It just wasn't something that motivated me to go back and sit and watch on a regular TV. So, but we saw it in IMAX in 3D, which from the production behind the scenes, that is the way he intends for people to watch it. I don't think it's a requirement, but these movies are an incredible sense of world building. And so to jump into what I liked about it, the scale is insane. I mean, these movies really are a spectacle, regardless of story and what you think of the movie itself. It's pretty hard to argue against the fact that these are one of the more, kind of the modern marvel of current cinema and technology coming together. The CGI is so realistic, the textures are so impressive, the way the motion capturing is so insane, and frankly, it's top of the line 3D. It really definitely sets itself apart from the gimmicky 3D that you think of, where stuff is jumping out at you on the screen, but rather there is a lot of intentional setting of perception and depth. So a couple of the moments that I liked a lot with the 3D was there's a few like perspective where you're looking at a character and the screen is right here that they're looking at, but the screen is like translucent, so you're seeing the screen just like my hand really close in the face, and there was something that felt really immersive about that. There's also a lot of particle. This isn't unique to the first one. The other avatars have been the same thing. There's a lot of particle effects that really give this incredible sense of depth. And one thing that I love the most is the subtitles exist. Again, this isn't unique to this particular one, but the subtitles exist in a space. They don't feel like text on a screen. They feel like an object that exists within the universe that you're looking at. And I really like the 3D in those moments. That being said, I don't think it's that vital to the enjoyment of the movie. I think a good movie is still good without 3D. I don't think it adds so much to it that it changes how I feel about the movie. I don't know what's going on with these frame rates. I believe this one was shot in 60 or even 120 frames, but it doesn't matter because it feels like both of those at times. Editing Keller here. It is a variable frame rate at 48 frames per second during action scenes and 24 frames per second in dialogue scenes. The 60 frames or whatever it was shot in just felt to sometimes like hyper frame rate, and which was very distracting. The sense of scale is what's so awe-inspiring in these movies. I mean, you just watching these giant creatures and these giant ships on this giant planet covering these huge distances with these immense forests and seas and swaths of industrialization and money and budget and I mean, everything's just jacked up to 11, and I think that you can write that on a script, but to get the audience to feel that in the cinematography, specifically in the cinematography that you're creating, I know it feels like something that could be easy, but I actually am willing to bet that it's much more difficult to create, and I just think that he does that really well. James Cameron is such a conceptual director. He really conceptualizes every detail before he goes out and films it. I don't think he's ever doing anything by the seat of his pants. He seems like an incredibly intentional director, especially when it comes to the visuals and what he wants things to look like and how he wants things to feel in terms of the details. And again, this Avatar has always really done that very well. This one was just hitting me fresh. The acting. Now let's get to what I don't like about the movie. The acting the deficits within the performances are insane. I might be controversial to say I wasn't that blown away by anybody's performance, with maybe the exception of the Fire and Ash Queen. She was a really, really great character, and I think the performance was really good. But whatever, there's this main kid Spider who's in the second one, and it's like, it would be hard to edit that movie because some of his line delivery, for me at least, comes off so bad and corny that he makes these really dramatic scenes kind of funny and hard to take seriously. And when you take a movie that's just so grand in scale and in detail and performance and like this epic and everything that I just described up until this moment. And then you have like a middle school kid delivering these just god awful lines. I don't know. There's a lot of it. The story, also the writing is kind of all over the place. It feels like it does not feel cohesive. It did towards the end. The very beginning, which was jumping around a lot. There was a lot of characters and they were trying to set up all of these motivations and all of these like character arcs that didn't necessarily follow through completely or felt a little confusing, and it was just a lot to keep up with. And when the movie is 3.5 hours of runtime, I just have to argue that I think you could have cut those things out, but that's just my opinion. Avatar is a cultural icon to the post-CGI times, so I always recommend seeing it. I think there's just some directors out there, James Cameron being one of them, that are so ambitious and so visionary that I think it's worth seeing all of their movies, whether or not you like them. I have never really considered myself somebody who loved Avatar. I just don't really like them as movies, but I love them in terms of what they are and how they're made and who they're for and how much work goes into them and the amount of money that they've made and the cultural impact. I love all that stuff. So I'll keep going and seeing Avatar movies as long as James Cameron keeps putting the love and effort and care that I think he is putting into them, whether or not they are the kind of movie that I am receptionally going to enjoy, if that makes any sense. So I would give it a 7 out of 10. I think it is a 9 out of 10, just again from technical perspective, but as an overall movie, 7 out of 10.